You think getting crushed by an elevator kills you instantly, like in those cheap Hollywood movies where the screen cuts to black and everything ends peacefully. If you've ever wondered what happens to your body when you die in a catastrophic mechanical failure, the reality is much more brutal, drawn out, and ironic than your imagination could ever prepare you for. That 2-ton block of metal crushing your pelvis isn't actually what kills you. In fact, it acts like a giant bandage. It clamps your major arteries shut, keeping your blood from spilling out. And the worst part, it forces your brain to work at 200% capacity, pumping it full of oxygen, forcing you to remain completely conscious to witness your own body being cut in half. Welcome to an elevator cable failure. This isn't a horror movie. This is the microscopic, scientific reality of your final moments. Picture this, 8 o'clock and Monday. You step into the elevator with a coffee in your hand, your mind still grumbling about unread emails and a strict boss. You hit the button for the 15th floor. The doors open, you step 1 foot out, but at that exact moment, the electromagnetic braking system suffers a fatal error. The hoist ropes slip off the pulley, no alarm, no time to scream. The elevator car drops, gravity pulls the machine down, but your upper half is still out in the lobby. You are pinned right across the middle between the falling elevator ceiling and the concrete floor of the building. The impact happens with ruthless velocity. In the very first second, the immense mechanical pressure hits. Your pelvis, a sturdy structure designed to carry your body weight, shatters like brittle crackers. Imagine the sound of a dry branch snapping, but echoing from inside your own body. The sharp fragments of your pelvis and lower ribs cave in, piercing straight into your internal organs. They become thousands of tiny biological shrapnel pieces, tearing through your bladder, large intestine, and shredding soft tissue. By the third second, the laws of physics begin torturing your circulatory system. The horrifying crushing force severely compresses your midsection, violently forcing all the blood from your lower half straight up. The blood pressure in your chest and head skyrockets to an absurd level. It feels like your skull is about to explode. Your eyes turn completely bloodshot, swelling as thousands of tiny capillaries simultaneously burst under the blood pressure. Your eardrums ring intensely. Deep down at the cellular level, a bloody battle is taking place. As the large muscles in your thighs and hips are pulverized, billions of soft tissue cells burst open. This destruction releases a massive amount of potassium ions, lactic acid, and a protein called myoglobin into your circulatory system. Myoglobin is incredibly toxic to the kidneys, while the excess potassium would instantly stop your heart if it reached the cardiac membrane. Your lower half is now essentially a leaking chemical plant filled with lethal toxins. But your body's panic doesn't stop there. Your spinal cord has been completely severed at the lumbar vertebrae. The lower half of your body is officially offline. Your brain sends millions of panicked electrical signals down to your legs, commanding the muscles to run, but nobody answers. The connection is cut. The guard station has collapsed. You are completely paralyzed from the waist down, and this is when the sick magic of biology reveals itself. You realize you are not dead. Your eyes are still blinking. Your lungs are still struggling to pull in oxygen. Why? Because the pressure from the elevator ceiling has clamped down on your abdominal aorta and inferior vena cava. It unintentionally becomes a perfect medical tourniquet, keeping you from bleeding to death, while also preventing that toxic potassium-rich blood from rushing back up to your heart. The machine that just destroyed you is now your only life support system. Without it pressing down, you would have died 3 minutes ago. A cruel irony of nature. Now, you are probably thinking about the flesh-tearing pain. You are terrified of enduring this excruciating agony for the rest of your short life, pinned tight between concrete and steel. Don't worry. Your body is a terrifyingly smart survival machine, and it knows exactly when the game is over. About 2 minutes after the impact, the pain reaches the absolute limit of the human nervous system. The pain receptors are overloaded with electrical signals and decide to shut down to protect the brain from the shock. Instantly, the hypothalamus and pituitary gland in your brain open the floodgates. They pump a massive amount of endorphins, a biochemical acting as a natural painkiller 100 times stronger than morphine, directly into your boiling bloodstream. Accompanying that waterfall of endorphins is the release of DMT, the most powerful hallucinogenic molecule found in nature, normally only released when a human is born and when they die. This is what the medical field calls the blissful disconnect. The frantic panic suddenly vanishes. Your breathing slows. The physical pain evaporates like it never existed. Even though your physical body is shattered and trapped in the wreckage, your mind feels light and floating. Many survivors of similar crush accidents have described that in that moment they felt as if their soul was hovering near the ceiling, looking down at their own bleeding body with a strange, eerie calmness. Your brain is trying to wrap you in a warm psychedelic blanket. It weaves soothing visions, lulling your consciousness to sleep, completely isolating you from the brutal reality of physics and biology. Death, in this moment, is no longer a terrifying monster holding a side. It just feels like you are slowly sinking into warm water. See, nature isn't entirely cruel. It always leaves a gentle exit at the very end of despair. 40 minutes pass. The flashing red and blue lights of an ambulance shine on your face. The rescue team finally arrives. They bring hydraulic spreaders, airbags, and metal saws. Shouts echo around you. A rescue worker grabs your hand, checks your pulse, and yells, "Victim is still alive. Hurry, we're going to lift the elevator, hold on." Your eyes twitch. You feel a fragile ray of hope. They are going to lift this machine off, and you will get to go home. But you don't know, and those inexperienced rescue workers might not know either. The fatal paradox of emergency medicine. Remember that massive buildup of toxic potassium, lactic acid, and myoglobin in your lower body that I mentioned in the first minute. Remember how the elevator is acting as a perfect tourniquet. The exact second the rescue force uses the hydraulics to lift that machine, the pressure disappears. The floodgates burst open, and the two worst things in the world happen instantly in the exact same fraction of a second. First, hypovolemic shock. The massive amount of blood in your upper body will rush straight down and pour out through the severed arteries. You will bleed out in a mere 15 seconds. Second, the highly concentrated toxic potassium that has been pooling for the last hour will follow the bloodstream and flood back into your heart chambers. When the potassium hits the heart muscle, it completely destroys the electrical system. Your heart will stop instantly. In medicine, this double death is known as crush syndrome or reperfusion injury. To save you from the wreckage, they absolutely have to lift the elevator, but the moment that machine is lifted is the exact moment you die. In the world of field emergency doctors, this is called ironic survival. The only person who can truly communicate with you right now is not the rescue worker trying to pry open the machine, but a seasoned medical doctor. That doctor knows exactly where the line between life and death is drawn. He will step close, look you in the eyes, inject you with one final, massive dose of painkillers, and allow you a brief phone call to say goodbye to your family before he nods and gives the order to lift the machine. If you were the rescue doctor facing that situation, what would you do? Try to prolong the victim's artificial life under a cold machine for a few more fleeting minutes, or decide to lift it and accept the inevitable consequence of physics? Let me know your choice in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy exploring human biology in the most morbid way possible. And next time you step into the office elevator, make sure you step fast. Goodbye.